Sorry about that. My last video got cut off because it ran out of time. So the weaknesses of SIPS, like I was saying, is that it's very scripted. So a lot of teachers feel that it takes the creativity out of it. So for this, I can actually agree with because for Tier 1 and Tier 2, there really isn't any room for wiggle room. But with Tier 3, you're working one-on-one with a student and you can really adapt to their multisensory needs, especially when it comes to the writing and spelling practice. You really have creative rights for that. And then, so in my research, I found that Dawson compared the results of students using SIPs and the students using Fundations and found that there was little to no difference between the two. So for her score, she found that SIPs scored higher as far as the standard deviation and the statistical significance, but Fundations was not far behind. There was only a 1 point difference between the two. I think that for the mean, SIPs was at 10 and Fundations was at 11. So they were really very close to each other. And then SIPs is also very expensive. So one kit costs $1,000 and that's for one classroom. So that is pretty expensive, but if you're using it as a school district, it's more cost effective because programs such as Fundations charge per teacher kit and per student kit, whereas for SIPs, it is just one kit that encompasses all of the teacher materials and all of the student materials. And another weakness that I found when I was observing this program being used, so it was not research-based, but I witnessed it, is that SIPs does take about 30 to 50 minutes to get through a lesson, and both Presley and Dawson stated that in their articles. And the problem with that is that in most school districts, as the teacher, you only get 30 minutes, and once you take away the time that it takes the students to come to you and then the time that they need to take to pack up and be ready to leave, you're really only getting 25 minutes with the students, if not less. And depending on your group of students and how high needs they are as far as their behaviors, their hyperactivity, just their learning needs in general, it can be very hard to get through a lesson. So I know I saw that the teacher, she was just rushing through a lot of the times and even skipping over parts of the lesson just to try and get through as much content as she could. But with other groups, they were just so distracted all the time and went off on so many tangents and had to be constantly redirected that she only got through half of the lesson. So she said in that case what she does is she just finishes the other half of the lesson the next time. But then she's behind. So I guess that is a weakness of the program, is that each lesson is so content heavy and has so much repetition that it's really hard for teachers to finish it in the time that they are given to do it. So I guess a way around that would be like what I saw is to split it into two different lessons if your students need that, or maybe cut out different areas each lesson that the students don't need to work on as much as others. Those are still cons, and there's still no way to fix that, which is probably why programs such as Fundations, which are less intensive and less content heavy, are more popular than the SIPS program. So that is all I have for you for today. Here are my references. My article by Dawson was The Effects of Fundation and SIPS Reading Interventions on Phonics Awareness of Second Grade Students. Presley was the difference in student reading scores using SIPS reading program. And then I took the beginning level lessons and the K-3 assessment directly from the SIPS website, which is Collaborative Classrooms, and the author of that is John Scheffelbein. So those are my lists, and then my one YouTube link, and I will post the other YouTube link from this video down below. I really hope you guys enjoyed learning about SIPS. It was something that I had never heard of before until I saw it on my literacy special observation, and I can't wait to see what interventions you guys chose to study.